Welcome everyone to our College of Arts and Sciences general meeting. I'm Dr. Butera, I'm the Dean of the College of Arts and Sciences. And I just want to take a minute for you to sort of look around the space that we're in. The Castellani Art Museum is one of our gems. It's a really special collection of contemporary modern art we have on our campus, and really, if you had a chance to peruse some of the galleries, that's awesome. If you didn't get a chance to do that, or you visit here, make sure you do it on your return visits. It's really one of the showcases of our campus. It's really unique for a university of our size to have a museum like this. So it's a real gem. Many of the faculty, myself included, incorporate the museum's collection into some of the courses that we teach. So prior to becoming dean, I was a professor of psychology, neuroscience here at Niagara for about 30 years. So most of my time here has been spent working with students, whether it's in the classroom, my research lab, doing advisement, mentoring, and been an interim dean since 2017, and about 18 months after that, they took the interim tag off, and now they're not interim dean, I guess. So when I was a psychology faculty member, I would incorporate pieces in the collection into some of the psychology courses that I taught. My colleagues in other departments, including biology, history, fine arts, English, religious studies, also incorporated Castellani into some of the classes that they teach. So students, it's very likely that you'll be back in Castellani at some time during your stay here, either for pleasure, just out of your own interest, or you'll be returning to the Castellani as part of some of the classes that you'll teach. So parents, I encourage you to sort of check out the different galleries. We have exhibits opening, the art exhibits opening throughout the year. You can check out on the museum's website. So I hope you have an opportunity to check that out. The focus of today's presentation is really not going to be very heavy at all. It really is designed to provide you with a basic introduction to the people, to the College of Arts and Sciences, and to the academic experience that'll be part of your education here at Niagara. So the people in the College of Arts and Sciences, some of whom are with us today, you've already met me. Dr. Bob Kane is a professor of history, serves as our associate dean. Dr. John Sauter is with us today. Here's John. John's our assistant dean for academic affairs, the go-to guy for questions you have about transfer credit, AP credit, you name it. John's the man. We have Ms. Liz Engler with us today. I saw Liz walking around earlier handing out business cards. Liz here?
She's the back there.
Oh, she's in the back. All right. This is our student outreach and retention coordinator, problem solver extraordinaire. Our office coordinator is Ann Majors. Liz is walking in right now. Take a look. I'm assuming Ann is at her desk in the dean's office. So Ann is another go-to person for any questions students have. So in your 4 years here, as questions come up, you could reach out to me, but more often than not, I'm going to reach out to Ann. And you can always do back to a question need help. So get to know Ann, and I'm sure you will. And any students who are in the honors program, you're going to be working with Jen Evelay during your time here. Jen is our administrative coordinator, and Jen also wears the hat of the kind of the assistant for our university honors program. Any students in our honors program will be working with Jen in the years to come on a whole host of things. Those are the people of the College of Arts and Sciences that you're going to get to know during your time here. That's where you can find us. We're in Dunleavy Hall on the 3rd floor, room 315. So when you walk out of the Castellani and you look over to your right, Dunleavy Hall is right there. Kind of arrow is showing you where our office is. You have our contact information on the handout that you got this morning as well. So feel free to reach out to us by email, and you'll be sure to get a prompt response from me.
here in the College of Arts and Sciences, you're going to receive a superior education in your field of study. Psychology, computer information sciences, biology, criminal justice, social work, you name it. In addition, that top-notch education in your major field of study is also going to be really grounded in a liberal arts foundation. We're going to come back to that point in just a little bit and sort of dive into that a little bit deeper. What does that mean to have your education kind of grounded in a liberal arts foundation? In addition, Knight University is one of the 3 Vincentian universities in the United States. There'll be a quiz afterwards, you want to write this down. The other Vincentian schools in America include St. John's University in Queens, DePaul University out in Chicago. There's also Vincentian University in the Philippines as well. Those are the 3 Vincentian universities. They're our sister schools, right? So your education here at Niagara, clearly focusing on your major field of study and also grounded in a liberal arts foundation, is also going to be really informed by our Vincentian mission. Niagara's Vincentian mission, as you'll learn, or as you're beginning to see these past couple of days, our Vincentian mission really informs and inspires a lot of the work that we do as faculty, as students, as staff, as administrators. And that Vincentian mission, right, shared by those 3 universities I mentioned a moment ago, has as its mission an outreach, a focus directed to the poor, the outsider, those less fortunate than we are. That Vincentian mission is really formed by the charism of St. Vincent de Paul and St. Louise de Marillac, the founders of the Congregation of the Mission in 15th century France. Those 2 individuals, St. Vincent and St. Louise, really had what you would call kind of a global impact. Think about that, right? 15th century France, stretching up to the 21st century worldwide. So that Vincentian mission, that outreach to the poor, the less fortunate, informs and inspires a lot of what we do as a university. Whether it's what we do as students at the university, as faculty at the university, and administrators and staff. Students, you're going to have an opportunity to really live that. Right? You're going to have an opportunity to dive into that Vincentian mission through our impact program, through community service, through courses that you'll be taking, as well as a whole host of opportunities, both in your discipline, right, and university-wide. To give you an example from my home department, in psychology, we have a student organization called Active Minds, right? This is a national organization focused on promoting mental health awareness, right, and taking away stigma from mental illness. That's a student organization that really also speaks to the Vincentian mission, right? So you're going to have opportunities to get involved, dive into that mission, and really learn about it, become inspired by it, and hopefully take it with you when you graduate and you move into the communities in which you live. I'd like to take a moment now to kind of talk about the education experience you're going to get here in the College of Arts and Sciences. There are basically 3 pillars to your educational experience here at Niagara in the College of Arts and Sciences. The first pillar are the courses in your major. Anywhere from 12 to 18 courses, depending on the structure of your major. Psychology, biology, criminal justice, etc. 12 to 18 courses. The second pillar of your educational experience are the general education and liberal arts core. That general education and liberal arts core consists of 16 courses, and all students at Niagara, regardless of their major, are going to work through those 16 courses that are part of our general education and liberal arts core. In a few moments, we're going to sort of dive into that a little bit deeper. What is that Gen Ed liberal arts core? And what's the significance of that for your education here at Niagara? The third pillar of your educational experience are the electives. Advised and free electives. Anywhere from 8 to 10 courses, depending on the structure of your major, that are just that. They're electives, right? You don't have to take them. With these electives, you get to explore. You get to experiment. You get to choose. It's your choice. Within that framework of electives, many students will define a minor or two. Some students will go on and use those electives to contribute to a second major. At yesterday's Vulcan, we heard Nick talk about the fact that he was a finance major with minors in philosophy and leadership. All right, so Nick is an example of how he used those electives to define, in Nick's case, 2 minors in addition to his finance major. Keep in mind that our emphasis on the liberal arts core, our emphasis on that liberal arts foundation of your education is supported by expectations from industry. Share some data with you on this slide to kind of highlight that fact. And you can see that almost 3/4 of employers that were surveyed say that they're looking for candidates that have a strong background in the liberal arts. They're not saying, I'm looking to hire somebody with a degree in accounting, or I'm not looking to hire somebody with a degree in economics or finance or biology. But they're talking about folks who have a strong background in the liberal arts. We're going to come back to that first bullet point in just a minute. Note too that 84% of the employers that were surveyed say that students who complete a senior project, a significant senior project, is going to help prepare them for success in their career. All majors in the College of Arts and Sciences have a capstone course in their senior year. So all of you, regardless of your major, are going to complete a significant senior project in your senior year. The nature of that project is going to vary depending on the major, right? So psychology majors will do a senior project that focuses on and is defined by the faculty member who's teaching that course. Chemistry students will complete a capstone project, right? It's going to be defined by their major. But all students in the College of Arts and Sciences are going to have that significant senior project that a large percentage of employers are saying, yeah, that's going to be important for success in a person's career. I mentioned earlier that most of my time at AGRA has been spent as a professor of psychology, neuroscience, and my specialty within science. So I'm a scientist, right? I like data. That's been my focus, right? Most of my professional life. So I'm going to share some more data with you. A few years ago, CEOs around the country were surveyed, and they were asked a couple of questions. And one of the questions they were asked is, what are the qualities that you're looking for in a person that you're going to hire for your company, your business, your firm, fill in the blank, right? Whatever those CEOs were heading up. What are the qualities you're looking for in a person that you want to hire? This is what they said. They said, we're looking for people who are experts in written and oral communication. These employers are looking for folks who can speak and write well. Right? They can express their ideas clearly, whether it's orally or whether it's in writing. Second, these employers said, we want people who are creative problem solvers. As all of us know, sometimes plan A doesn't work. Sometimes plan B doesn't work. And now what do, right? I guess you could go to your boss and say, hey, I'm stuck, right? What I'm trying to do is it's not working. Do you have any ideas to
help me? Like, that's not what they want. Right? They want people who can solve the problem, right? They want creative problem solvers. Thirdly, these employers said, we want people who have the ability to conduct and synthesize research. Right? What does that mean? Right? What that means is that they want candidates who have strong quantitative analytical skills. They want people who have the ability to work with data, who aren't afraid of spreadsheets. Now, I do this at all orientation meetings. I'm going to make a shameless pitch to all the students out there, and to parents as well. You can remind your son or daughter about this. Get a minor in statistics out of the math department. I don't care what your major is, get a minor in statistics. Now, in psychology, it's easy. A stats minor consists of 5 classes. If you're a psych major, 2 of those 5 classes you take as part of your psych major. Actually, 3 of the 5 can be part of your psych major if you do a research project in psychology. True for other departments too. That leaves what? 2 math classes, right? In statistics and nonlinear models. Why do I say that? Well, I say that because that's what employers are looking for, right? Strong quantitative skills. You get a stats minor, guess what? You're coming away with strong analytical skills. You're not going to be afraid of spreadsheet. But you're saying, well, I'm a history major. I don't care about data. Maybe you do. I'm a history major. I don't need a statistics minor. Although that may be true at the time. Suppose, as a history major, you go on and become the executive director of a not-for-profit cultural organization in Buffalo, Western New York, anyway. And as the executive director of that cultural organization, what do you need to do? You need to do budgets. You need to fundraise, all right? You need to do financial reports. You need to be good at spreadsheets or QuickBooks, Excel, whatever the software package that you're using. If you're going to be a history major in your sophomore year, you're going to say, I need statistics, right? I don't want to do that. I don't want a stats minor. I'll never use that. But further down the road, if you find yourself in a job like that, you're going to be pretty pleased that you did that stats minor, right? You're not afraid of data. You can dive into it, understand it, report on it to your constituents, your employees, or funding organizations, right? County governments are going to give you a budget. I have to hear similar stories. My son was an accounting major, not here. But sometimes over in the College of Business, maybe students might sort of, liberal arts education, I don't do that, right? I'm an accounting major. Why do I have to take a philosophy class? Why do I have to take a religious studies class? Why do I have to take a humanities class? I'm an accounting major. That's true. But as an accounting major, maybe you're working for an accounting firm that does audits for a place like this, an art museum. Now, as an accounting major with a strong background in liberal arts, you're going to have the ability to kind of get it, right? You're going to be able to come into cultural organizations like an art museum as an accountant to audit them. You're going to have a really good appreciation, right, for the humanities. So it goes both ways, right? Even those in the College of Business, it can be really helpful for them to get a strong background in liberal arts education. I'll get off my soapbox. And you know what the number one wanted skill was? When I read the survey, I was kind of surprised at first. This was the number one skill that these employers said that they were looking for. But the more I thought about it, it made sense. The number one wanted skill that those employers said they were looking for is the ability to work in a team structure. The ability to work in a team structure. Now, some of the students who were here, maybe you played sports at your high school, you may have a sense of what that means, right? Because you were part of a team structure in athletics. And you know part of what that entails. It's not all about you, right? It's about success as a team. Sometimes you have to sacrifice your own self-interest. Maybe you don't like people on your team, but you have to get along with them, right? You don't have to hang out with them necessarily, but you better be able to work together. It's not just athletics, right? Maybe you were part student organizations in your high school, community organizations, it's the same thing, right? The same thing. The ability to work in a team structure. There are a number of students here from the data we get on their major and interest that they have interest in healthcare, maybe medicine, dentistry, and so on. One of my jobs here at Niagara is to serve on our pre-health committee. Pre-health committee are faculty, administrators who interview all students looking to go on to medical school or dental school, healthcare professions that require a composite letter of recommendation from the student's school. So we interview the students, right? We interview them, and collectively we use that interview and their letters of recommendation to write a composite letter to support their application to medical school. So I'm always on the lookout for good questions to ask, right? Because I'm on that, I gotta come up with a good question, right? So I asked my dentist, he would know. He's a UB dental grad, right? So 3 years ago I asked him, Dr. Jim, told the community that I served on, we're interviewing prospective students for dental school, for example. If you were on the committee, what question would you ask? Right? What do you think I should ask these students? And he said, this is before I read the survey, he said, I would ask them what their experiences are working on a team. At first, it kind of surprised me, right? I thought he'd say, well, I have fine motor skills, working in people's mouths, right? Gotta be able to have manual dexterity and all that stuff. He didn't say that at all. He said, dental school will teach you that, right? You don't have to have those skills coming in. But they're gonna assume, or they're gonna try to find out, whether or not those applicants coming into dental school have that experience working in a team. Now, if you think about your own experiences maybe at your dentist, that makes sense. For the most part, dentists aren't a lone individual, right, practicing all by themselves in their office. If your dentist is like my dentist, it's a team, right? There's 2 dentists there, there's an endodontist, there's dental hygienists, right, there's dental assistants, there's somebody keeping the books, there's a secretary, right? So it's that kind of environment, right? So my dentist kind of reinforcing, right, what employers say they're looking for. I bring this up because those skills, being able to speak and write clearly and effectively, the ability to be a creative problem solver and thinker, the ability to have strong quantitative skills, work in a team structure, those skills are at the heart of an education in the College of Arts and Sciences. So 4 years from now, you're going to come away with those skills that employers say we're looking for in folks that we want to hire. Another strength of the College of Arts and Sciences are our faculty. College of Arts and Science has about 100 full-time faculty, and it's home to some of the most brightest and creative minds on our campus. Many of my colleagues could be working at Research One universities, the R1 universities, UB, Cornell, RIT, University of Rochester, you name it, right? These are nationally and internationally known scholars and scientists, but they're here, right? They're here because these individuals take teaching and learning seriously. And my colleagues are dedicated, they're really committed to student success, academically and personally. Year in and year out, our graduating seniors, when they're asked this question, unanimously say, yeah, my NU education really prepared me to understand and use key concepts in my field of study. Right, so our criminal justice graduates are saying, yep, my criminal justice courses, that they really taught me how to understand those key concepts in the field of criminology and criminal justice. My social work classes, right, taught me those key concepts. My psychology courses taught me those key concepts on how to use them. So our students, our graduating students are confident, right? 4 years from now, yep,
I get it, right? I learned how to understand key concepts in my field of study. We have about 36 majors, not about, we have 36 majors in the College of Arts and Sciences. There's a pretty good chance that should you choose to change your major, and a lot of students do, it's not unusual, you're gonna find a major that's gonna be right for you. We have over 50 academic minors. Right? Those academic minors, as we mentioned, are part of a lot of our students' educational experience. Close to 70% or more of graduates in the College of Arts and Sciences are going to graduate with at least one minor or a second major. We have master's programs in criminal justice, information security and digital forensics, and interdisciplinary studies. We also have accelerated programs. These are combined bachelor and master's degree programs where students can earn a bachelor's and a master's degree in criminal justice, for example, in 5 years rather than 6, by taking graduate courses in your senior year. We can talk more about that later on if you would like. We also entered into 3+3 programs with University of Buffalo and St. John's Law Schools. So students in about, I think, up to 7 majors now here at Niagara, if they're admitted, right, if they're qualified, can complete their bachelor's degree and their law degree in 6 years rather than 7. So these accelerated programs essentially take a year, right, off of the student's program of study. And maybe more importantly for you, a year off or a year from tuition as well. Those professors that we talked about just a moment ago on the last slide are going to be your advisors. Right? They're going to be your mentors in the research lab, which is what I did. Right? You're going to have an opportunity to get to know those faculty members in a very significant way, so that your advisor will be able to write you a strong letter of recommendation. And there's a very good chance you'll have your advisor for one of your classes, right? These are professors that are in your department. They're going to be serving as your advisor during your time here at Niagara. College of Arts and Sciences also has a lot of flexibility. Students in our liberal arts program can create their own program of study. As we noted, in arts and sciences, you have the ability to pursue more than one academic area, your major, a second major, a minor or two. And we're also going to have study abroad coming back as well. Prior to COVID, our faculty-led study abroad trips were becoming very, very popular. Faculty-led study abroad trips are study abroad experiences that are part of a class. You're not spending a whole semester abroad. You're going abroad for 10 days to 2 weeks. So one of your JAD courses is, say, religion and art and Vatican. That's a religious studies class, fulfills a general education requirement, and you get to go to Italy, if you choose, with the faculty members on a faculty-led trip to the Vatican. And they also go to Florence as well. So those faculty-led study abroad trips, there's quite a few of them, will be coming back, right, as travel restrictions ease up and our students have the opportunity to explore the world again. Students and parents will learn more about those faculty study abroad trips as their son or daughter begins to kind of dive into their education here at Niagara. As I look around the room this morning, there's diversity that I see, and there's diversity that I know is there. Because all of you are coming from different educational, social experiences. Some of you are coming from large public high schools. Some of you are coming from maybe relatively small rural high schools. Still others are coming from maybe private high schools. Right? So there's a lot of diversity that I see in the room, both apparent and implied. And as you can see on this slide, that diversity is reflected in the majors that we offer in the College of Arts and Sciences. So we have majors in the natural and physical sciences, mathematics, computer information sciences, cybersecurity, social and behavioral sciences, the arts and humanities, and a program in public health that I have a feeling is going to start drawing more and more students to it, given the pandemic we've been experiencing for the past 18 months. I have a hunch we're going to start seeing more students coming to Niagara, and they're going to be thinking about that public health program. Maybe I'm a psych major, but I have a strong interest in community and public health. So I'm going to use my electives to sort of build that into my psychology degree. Diversity, right? A lot of diversity in the College of Arts and Sciences, wide range of majors, as we know. Let me ask you a question. More of a rhetorical question. Yeah, you can answer it in your head if you want. Want to know how to succeed in college? Niagara or anywhere? You want to know how? It's a message I think you've been hearing. It's not a secret. It's not even that difficult. The way to succeed in college is involvement. Social scientists who do research in higher ed consistently report that students who are successful, and success is defined as being retained and graduated, right? That's a measure of success. Whether you're at an Ivy League school, whether you're at a public university, whether you're at a college like Niagara, involvement is the key to your success here. There's a wealth of opportunities for involvement, student involvement here at Niagara. Academic clubs, student organizations, club sports, community service, you name it, right? Whole host of opportunities. For the students, I want to offer you some criteria for you to reflect on when you're considering clubs, organizations, activities to get involved in. And those three criteria are, number one, academic excellence. Is your involvement in this organization, activity, club, whatever, is it going to foster in you academic excellence? Second, service. Right? Is this activity that you're getting involved with going to enhance your ability to serve others? And is that organization going to give you an opportunity to make an impact? We talked about our essential mission earlier on, okay? Is that organization going to give you the ability to have an impact, all right, on another individual's life? Maybe to connect with them in a meaningful way. Many of you know that higher education can have a transformational effect on a young person. Higher education can really change an individual for the better. Right? A true transformational experience from when they come in right now to when they leave 4 years from now. I want to share a story with you now that's going to illustrate that point. Upper left-hand corner, that photograph, that young man is Maurice Taylor. I met Maurice Taylor when he transferred to Niagara from North Carolina A&T. He came in as a psychology major. As chair of the department, my job is to meet with transfer students, to help them create a schedule, or to help them get acclimated, all that good stuff. So Maurice comes in, he actually transferred relatively late, just a couple weeks before classes started. And I got to know Maurice, not just at that meeting. I was his professor for 2 of his classes here as well. I got to know him very well. Maurice transferred to Niagara to play basketball. Right? Transferred from North Carolina A&T in the MEAC conference to Niagara University on a basketball scholarship. And as I got to know him, Maurice indicated that he grew up in the projects in Bridgeport, Connecticut. Didn't lead a life of privilege by any means as a young boy. Now for Maurice, basketball was his ticket to higher education. Right? He could put the ball in the hoop.
and I got him noticed, right? I got him into higher education. But that's not what Maurice was about. Yeah, he could play and he enjoyed it. But he said that Dr. Butera, it was my grandmother that instilled in me and my brother the importance of getting education. So his focus as a psychology major here at Niagara, yeah, obviously athletics is a big part of his life, but his main focus was academics, right? Graduate, get a degree, go on, have an impact in individuals' lives. That photograph appeared in the Niagara Gazette, local newspaper in Niagara Falls. Maurice did an internship at Maple Avenue School. It was elementary school, not too far from where you walked to from here. His internship was with the school counselor at Maple Avenue School in Niagara Falls. Maurice was a rock star at Maple Avenue School. He organized, as part of his internship, he organized an assembly during one of his class visits where he brought some of the coaches and other players in the men's and women's basketball team to Maple Avenue School to kind of impart their life lessons to these kids. And I have no doubt that Maurice's story resonated with those young people. That those young people saw in Maurice, right? This is something, right? This is something. I want to go to college, right? I want to be a success. Education is a priority for me. Niagara Gazette kind of ran with that story, right, and did that piece and on his internship at Maple Avenue School. I lost track of Maurice after he graduated. He actually did two internships at Maple Avenue School, and that was actually after an orientation session. I shared this story a couple years ago, when one of the orientation leaders came up after and said, Dr. Butera, I was just in touch with Maurice. I'm like, really? Where's he at? What's he doing? He said, well, he's actually a teacher in Cambridge, Massachusetts, teaching high school, teaching psychology to high school students. I have no doubt that Maurice Taylor is going to go on and do big things in his life. As an educator, as an administrator, as a leader. I share that story with you to kind of highlight the fact that higher education can truly have a transformational effect on a person's life that's going to set them up for success in their career and in their life. I want to ask the students to close your eyes right now. I want you to think about this. It's risky because you might fall asleep. This is class, right? So as you close your eyes, in your mind's eye, imagine you're going to be 4 years from now as a graduating senior at Niagara. Get an image of yourself in your mind. Go over your eyes now. You've got that image. Each year, we ask our graduating seniors for advice. What advice would you give to the incoming freshman? So 4 years from now, we're going to ask you that, right? All right. What advice would you give to people who are coming to Niagara as first-year students? So they're giving advice to you right now. This is you're going to give advice to people 4 years from now. I want to share some of the responses that we get on the survey. See a theme emerge. Everyone should study abroad. Best experience of my life. Get involved. Don't be afraid to join a club or go to an event you normally wouldn't. You won't regret it. Get involved. Clubs and club sports make college more enjoyable. They will be your home. Make some friends and get involved. Get to know your professors and don't be afraid to go to them for help and advice. Seek out opportunities to work with professors on research. Make sure to double check that your classes and schedule line up with your goal graduation date. In addition to asking our graduating seniors for advice, right, what advice would you give to incoming students? We also ask them about their experience here at Niagara.
Again, see if you see a theme emerging. Here's what our seniors have to say about their experience at Niagara. Professors here are very down to earth, and they're willing to do anything to help you succeed. I had the privilege of being taught by and working alongside some of the most caring, intelligent, and charismatic professors Niagara University has to offer. The faculty here care about every student, and if you need help, they'll be there for you. I think the support of faculty members on this campus is excellent. I would highlight the importance of a small student-to-faculty ratio. This allows students to develop a strong mentor relationship with their professors. Niagara is not just a place for knowledge and academics, but for learning who you are as a person. Niagara has prepared me for not just my future career, but my life in general. Those students, we're talking about some of the information captured on this slide, and that's student-faculty research. And I'm not just talking about bench science. When you talk about research, many people conjure up in their mind the image of a bench scientist, right, in the chemistry lab or the biology lab, running experiments. Although that's certainly true, undergraduate research spans across the entire College of Arts and Sciences. Humanities, mathematics, computer information sciences, humanities, etc., all have opportunities for undergraduate research with faculty members. As I was reflecting on the remarks I wanted to share with you this morning, I thought about my experience working with undergraduates on research in my neuroscience lab. And I found that I was a mentor for 35 students who completed an honors thesis in my lab, 35 students. All of those students went on to present their research at conferences. More than twice that number of students worked in my lab in another capacity, not on an honors thesis, but maybe as an independent study project or as a volunteer. So I've seen firsthand how students are changed when they work with faculty members on undergraduate research. And I can't tell you the confidence that builds in those students as they begin to learn about a research area. They become an expert in that area. They learn about, in my lab, they learn about designing an experiment. They collect data. They analyze the data. They write it up for a paper, and then they take it on the road, many of them. The confidence that builds in a student is remarkable. To see those students presenting their research on a poster, explaining it to their peers, explaining it to other faculty members who come to that conference, that is so cool. Right? That is so cool. And you better believe that that student experiences deep learning. Right? That's how you really learn through understanding, right? When you're involved in something you have a personal interest in. So here at Niagara, you're going to have every opportunity to work with faculty members on research projects. So like our graduating seniors say, I encourage you to seek out your faculty in your department, learn about their research interests, and dive in there and get that experience. This morning, you'll leave our orientation session with your fall class schedule. I just wanted to share a couple comments about what goes into that schedule. Your schedule was reviewed and built by our staff in the Dean's office, Dr. Sauter and Liz Engler, to name a couple, along with the Office of Admissions and the Orientation Committee. And they created your schedule based on a number of factors: major requirements, surveys that you completed on our orientation portal, potential credit that you have coming in from other institutions, or perhaps AP credit. So it's important to emphasize the fact that you really want to avoid making any unnecessary adjustments to your schedule unless that's really necessary. When you do that, as someone who did advisement for 30 years, right, you can have a domino effect. Once you change one class, you can have an impact on other classes on your schedule. But if you do need to make those changes, that information, contact information is on the handout. So you'll want to work with your department chairperson or folks in my office if you need to make those changes, make those adjustments. If you have a class on your schedule that says TBA, right, to be arranged, that's either a theater class. Some of the theater classes will have times to be arranged, to be set up, or it could be an online class with classes to be arranged. Who wants to graduate in 7 years? Raise your hand. Nobody ever does when I say that. I'm going to share with you how to graduate in 4 years. Strategies for success. That university has the highest four-year graduation rate of all colleges in Western New York. Most recently, a four-year graduation rate of 66%. Average four-year graduation rate at public universities in the United States, 23.5%. Average four-year graduation rate at other four-year private colleges in the United States, 44.2%. Y'all know the U.S. News and World Report, right? They publish those rankings of best universities in America. One of the important data points for that U.S. News and World Report is not the four-year graduation rate, it's the 6-year graduation rate. Our 6-year graduation rate for the students that started in 2014, so 6 years would have been 2020, is 77%. Only 25% of colleges and universities in the United States have a 6-year graduation rate of 70% or more. Right? So we're in the pool, right, with some pretty elite company, right? When you can talk about a 6-year graduation rate that's better than 70%. To graduate in 4 years, here's the strategies. Show up. We analysts said 80% of life is showing up. I think he's right about that. Read your syllabus that your professors create for you. That syllabus will tell you, you want to get an A, here's what you need to do. You want to get a B, here's what you need to do. Take the time to read that. Map out your calendar. Pay attention to policies that govern when you can add or drop a class to graduate in 4 years. Roadmap to graduate in 4 years, for most of you, is going to be 15 credits per semester. Translates into 5 courses. You do that, you graduate in 4. Parents, there's your reminder, right? So how many classes are you signed up for the spring? I'm taking 4. I thought you need to take 5, graduate in 4 years, right? I've been a faculty member for a long time, as I mentioned, and I've seen the students struggle. Things happen, right? Things happen in a person's life that you have no idea are going to happen, or you can plan for. Shouldn't begin to struggle, right? Shouldn't begin to miss class because of issues that come up. Don't wait, right? See your professor right away. See your advisor right away. If necessary, come in and see us in the dean's office right away. Don't wait. This is one of the few times in your life, students, where you're going to have a lot of people focused on your success. There aren't many times in your life that you can say that. Obviously, your family, that's kind of clear, right? They're focused on you, right? On your success. But here at Niagara, we have a whole host of support services that are here for you to support students and their success. Your professors, your advisors, folks in my office, our Office of Academic Success, Career Services, our Counseling Center, free confidential mental health counseling, and our Financial Aid and Student Accounts Office. Parents, unless your son or daughter signs off on the FERPA, Family Education Right to Privacy Act, unless they sign off on that, neither I nor my colleagues can discuss your son or daughter's academic progress with you. So in order for us to discuss your son or daughter's academic experience, they need to sign off, check that FERPA box on my and you. So I want to thank you all for joining us for our College of Arts and Sciences meeting here this morning. That's where you're going to be 4 years from now. Commencement at Art Park here in Lewiston.
I'm going to turn things over to our orientation leader for some remarks about our dismissal, and then we're going to have folks come up by letter of your last name to get your schedules. Victoria? Thank you. Thank you.